Hello, this is Ben from the Seekonk Library. I've got another kind of music movie recommendation for you. I've watched a couple of music documentaries lately. I'd recommend both of them, but I'm only going to specifically talk about one of them. The first one was The Wrecking Crew, which is about the studio group that was never credited, but they were behind like every hit from the 60s, coming from LA, like the whole Surfer Beach Boys era. That was a fine documentary, but the one that really struck me was this one. You can't really see the title because of the way the library stickers are on it. It's called Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals is, it's not specifically a studio, but it's an area of the country that produced some legendary music, and I'd say the influence is probably up there with Motown. And I think the term Muscle Shoals probably gets thrown around in music circles, but it's one of those things the regular public probably wouldn't pay much attention to. But I was really captivated by the story. It's really the story of one man. Let's just get his name right. It's Rick Hall. Really a visionary. Grew up in Alabama, and very Humble's like overselling him. Very, very. Basically, he grew up with nothing, and he was with this determination. He got himself into the music industry and built this studio. It's famed studios in Muscle Shoals, and he describes himself as an imperfect perfectionist. So his music, the music he produced, just has this human soul quality to it that it's just so stunning to see, like how different American music was regionally back in the 60s, and I mean, of course, in the 70s too. Wasn't that far removed, but it was a really good documentary. Just creating that whole Muscle Shoals sound. So if you're not familiar with what the Muscle Shoals sound is, you probably have a feel for like Motown or Beach Boys pop music, but it's a lot of the really famous Aretha Franklin recordings, Lynyrd Skynyrd, the Allman Brothers, Wilson Pickett. So it's that kind of like that era of American music, and there's some really funny quotes in it too. Probably one of the funnier ones from Wilson Pickett, and this is going to be a little un-PC, not terrible though, is that he was surprised when he showed up to Muscle Shoals because he had an expectation of the group he was going to work with because they put out such powerful soul music. He shows up in the studios full of these, he described them as white boys that you might have seen working at the grocery store. So it's really funny to hear that, but it was really the drive of Rick Hall that he claimed he could turn any group of musicians into, he called them hits, but his drive for perfection and like what he would pull out of these musicians has really created that whole Muscle Shoals sound. It's a topic of music that I'd heard of Muscle Shoals. Big Allman Brothers fan. I know that Dwayne Allman was associated with them, but it's not even a studio. It's the area. I just never had known much about it. I never had even heard of Rick Hall, and I'm just so glad I watched this documentary because it really showed just another like fantastic area of American music. As I said, just akin to like Motown, and Motown gets all the notoriety for that because everyone loves to throw around the Motown name. But just stunning. I thought it was a really well-made documentary. Some great music is in the background of it. And if you're a music fan, you like documentaries, I'd really check it out. I don't think the Seekonk Library owns it, so I did have to place a hold from a different library, but I happened to purchase the videos for the library, so perhaps we will get one soon. All right. I'd love to talk to you about it at the reference desk if you do check it out and want to talk about some music. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day and a good watching if you take my recommendation.